us off.
Hello and welcome to Adelaide Super League 2026. We are at round 3. To the left of screen we have Southside Riptide, and to the right of screen we have West Beach Titans. This is going to be a ripper of a match. As I said, this is round 3. Last week was supposed to be round 3, but it was cancelled. My name is Phil Shields.
And my name is Chantel Badenhop, and we are your commentators for the first game this evening. Neither team currently have a diss, so I don't know who's on offense, who's on defense.
We will find out. Maybe they're going for something slightly different. They're going to play without a frisbee today.
Play without a frisbee. Oh, it is a bit windy, so.
It is a flat ball sport for all of you in the know. We welcome our viewers near and far as well to this broadcast, brought to you live from sunny summer in Adelaide at the moment. It's beautiful weather at the moment.
Absolutely beautiful. We've been through a bit of a heat wave. So like last week was cancelled because it was low 40s. So we had to cancel due to heat, but it has cooled down a little bit. In saying that, cooling down a little bit, it's 30. But compared to 40, it's drastically cooler.
It doesn't even feel like 30 after we've had a 40 degree day it was.
I wore a jacket today because I thought it was cold. My body was confused. 10 degrees cooler. So it looks like we've got Riptide coming out on defense. We've got Milo holding the disc ready to pull. Landing near the brick mark. Baddix picks up, centers to Alfie.
Edgeworth puts it long.
And falls just far from Sid.
So Srinavisan making Riptide work, looking for that early point to get themselves out of the gate quickly, put some pressure on with pretty much 2 pass play. Not bad tactics, I think.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a crosswind. It's heading kind of towards the camera, so
slightly right to left, I'd say. We saw that with the pull as well. It was quite a short pull overall.
So we had Brilly going to Tonkin, floated up there so we could read that well. Tonkin still got the disc, Brilly helping by coming behind.
Hard zone being played here by Titans at the moment. Not giving an inch. Tonkin looking to put it through the middle. Brill gets it back again. And just working up that far side. There's a nice through pass. Now they're off to the races. Lay for that one.
Oh.
A little bit too late on the lay there. That was Gordon, I believe.
Matty G couldn't complete that lay. More like a knee slide there nearly. Baddix quickly picked up the disc, centered to Sid, to Baddix, to Tim Davis, back to Baddix, doing the 1-2. Baddix directing traffic, getting every second disc here. Looked for the cut to the front corner of the end zone, didn't come, but now Sid, but looks like it just got thrown slightly behind him.
I wasn't too sure how that came out of their hands. They were stuck on the low side a little bit, but Baddix tried to make the best of a situation there. Now Blue looking to make some work up the field. Oh, just holsters that one. Was going to put that one long, back to Tonkin. High side action at the moment. Brill taking control in the middle. That zone still working strong for the Titans. Brill puts a low forehand fake and another backhand there as well. They're working together as a good team in this back part of the field. Now they make their way up through the field where there goes one long, and that's out of the second grab.
Second grab by Nathan Sim.
Now that was a big let off because that could have been indeed so easily.
Very, very lucky there that he could hang on to that. Luckily, his body was in the right spot that he nearly boxed out his defender so he could get that second grab. But overall, a goal by Nathan Sim.
So 1 apiece at the moment.
Oh, there's the replay of that one. So it's 1-0. That was the first point.
Oh, sorry, my bad. For some reason, I thought they got that point.
Nah,
old
Alfie
age.
hucked it.
Old age is getting the better of me. Sorry, Chantel.
Oh, good. No, Alfie hucked it. They did a really quick turn, and then it was pretty slow.
Speaking of old age, what was the fact you just told me about the average age of one of these teams?
The average age of the Titans is mid-30s, I believe. I don't remember exactly what it is off the top of the head, but everyone was shocked by Alfie's drafting, so they calculated that first thing that was done. So probably one of the oldest Super League average ages we've had, but seems to be working, the experience, but will they run out of steam, especially with the 2 games tonight? But they've allowed all reserves to play. So normally they're only played if it gets under 9 players of the normal team. So hopefully to help their load and reduce risk of injury, we've got all the players out tonight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that landed just out, but Baddox pointed back to the line. That's where he wanted to take it, and he does so. We've got Edgeworth and Baddox probably still working together. Baddox comes up the sideline, near sideline, wants something. Edgeworth probably could have been a bit more centred, didn't have to be as close to Baddox. He's got those throw. Davis, the better Davis, obviously throws one and it's bobbled.
Christoph couldn't keep hold of that one, so we got Brilly picking up the disc and a quick one to Milo. It looks like that was just at the front of the end zone there. So that is 2-0 Riptide's way. So the Titans will get another shot at offense. So we see a replay of this one. Tried to grab it 2 hands above his head, just didn't work there.
Probably needed to jump just a little bit to make it a bit
clap
lower.
catch.
Yeah.
And then the sneaky one, Milo just at the front of the end zone there.
Good awareness with his feet there as well. I mean, it wasn't hard in the end, but still would have hated to him land on the line, having to put another throw. Not at this level should phase them at all, though.
So we got Riptide on D. Oh, the wind's blowing the monitor a bit gusty. Wonder if Titan's going to come down in the same zone that we saw when Riptide were going in this direction.
Nice spin turn there.
So the ball landed just near the brick mark. Baddox quick pickup to Joel, to Alfie, and Alfie sends it. Christoph is on the end of that one, and that was beautiful. Similar throw to the one earlier where it went slightly too far of Sid, but pulled this one back, a bit more touch, and into the hands of Christoph.
Yeah, I think that first throw by Edgeworth in the first point, as we see the replay here, just didn't quite understand the wind at that point in time. But as you can see by that replay there, understood it well, put it a little bit higher, a little bit more spin, not as flat, not as zippy, and of course allowed the player to run on it perfectly.
Very, very nice by Alfie, and then good deep cut by Christoph there. So that is now 2-1, and now we have the Titans coming out on D with, looks like, Joel with the disc to pull. Be interesting to see what defense Riptide put on, if they're going to bring out a zone at all this evening.
That'll settle the Titans getting that point. I would not have wanted to have a deficit of 3. Tonkin waits for that one. And it was really interesting. Again, I don't know if that's telling of the wind or the confidence of Tonkin there. And that's a great run through there by Edgeworth. It looked sort of clean. I don't know if we're going to see that again, but definitely a strip. He felt he had it. He's showing quite clearly that he had it. So
we'll see a replay of this here.
A lot of shadows there, lost in the tree. It's hard to tell. It was very quick. I think it's going to have to come back to the players with their feel. And it goes back to the previous
contested.
thrower.
So we got Santi with the disc. Centers back to Tonkin. Tonkin quickly keeps to the high side to Matty G. Back to Sam. Huge call from Harry Deep, but not coming. Tonkin to the high side to Santi. Santi quick one to Brill. Small one to Davis, then back to Brill. Over the top to Milo. Quick one to Matty G. Titan trying to push them to the low side, but it looks like that was a quick goal into the hands of Brilly.
Yeah, Brill split the two defenders there. I didn't see where the near sideline defender was going to. I didn't actually see a player for him to go to, but Brill, as we see here, will actually split them nicely in a second, and he'll find himself in a paddock of space. There he is, and that's the player. There must have been someone out there for the Titans player to go so close to the sideline, but still I didn't even see it on the replay there. So anyway, Southside Riptide up by 2, 3-1 against Titans.
So we've got Sean Davis now with the disc, with the pull, and Titans will come out on offense.
So the eternal debate, which Davis is the better Davis. Got any suggestions there? I mean, in your opinion?
Oh, no.
I'll put you on the spot here.
Well, I haven't actually seen much of Tim Davis. I'm fairly new to the Frisbee community, only like 2 and a bit years. So I look up to Sean Davis a lot, so I don't know actually that much about Tim Davis's play style.
Let's pen that one in as Sean is the better one then. I think I heard it. If I'm reading between the lines from what I hear you say, Sean Davis as a favourite is pretty much the same as he's the better Davis.
Yeah. So haven't had much to do.
Settled people in Adelaide. Sean Davis is definitely the better Davis. But maybe if there's a matchup, we might work that out. I doubt whether there is going to be a matchup. It's going to be height versus speed if there is one.
So we've got Dan Roberts in the middle of the field. Quick one to Alfie. Alfie fakes the flick, looking for the backhand. Fakes the flick again. Not much happening. Has to dump to Marty. A bit low there. Marty had to bend over. Christoph attacks that. Quick one to Sid. Looks off Dan. To Greg, trying to cram it up that line there. Beautiful cut to the front of the end zone by Sid. And that was a very, very quick point.
Yeah, there was a nice bailout by Srinivasan for Schrader. He was stuck right on that witch's hat in the corner there. You can see it there, a couple of big long steps and right on the sideline. Looks off the first one. Nice around cut. Player had no idea, had his back to the disc, was just chasing him. Srinivasan had his name written all over that point as Titans scrape one back, and it's now 3-2 to Riptide.
So we've got Tim Davis with the disc. We'll see what pull he decides to do. We've seen a couple of different types, but all roughly landing near the brick mark with this wind.
Now, Pillar Rogers is rocking that Nordic sort of look, maybe Viking-ish. I wonder what his roots are, whether they harken back to those days, or maybe he's been watching some reruns of a fairly old show of a similar name.
I really like it. I saw it the first week. I'm like, different. I like it. Adds a bit of personality.
It does. It does. And he has personality and lots of it as well.
So it matches his vibe.
He's actually quite quiet, realistically, but when he's on fire and he's on the field, he just plays out of his skin, and he is very Viking-like, I think.
So the hairstyle matches his play style. So we've got Tonkin with the disc on the high side to Brilly to keep it on the sideline, but it looks like Titans putting on a zone here. We had the hammer across to Santi. Good read by Santi. Davis was on the ground for that one from the mark. So back on the high side to Brilly. Good fake to Harry. Fakes the over to Milo, keeping it on the high side, and the hammer across to Matty G, but he couldn't hold on to that one.
Could not reel that one in. He was all alone, no sun in his eyes. Buckland to Gordon, and he makes a bit of a meal of it. I mean, I love Gordon. I love Buckland as well. Again, this level maybe should have been straightforward, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
He's a very exciting player, though. I'm looking forward to seeing him play for Outbreak. Normally one of the top scorers.
Big fake to no one there by the better Davis. Oh, I mean, sorry, Tim Davis.
To Roberts. To Andy. And James Guerin takes that one down.
Puts it on a dime. There was a defender right on his 6. And Baddock's just with that, you know, uncanny touch that he has playing in that handler position, just threads it through just so his teammate can get it just out of reach of the defence. And here we see it again. You can see the defence right on the tail. There's no room for error there. It was really, if he had not put as much on that, then the defence would have got that. But that's a nice comeback to equal the score.
So we've got a game here. That first point, Titans just hucked it away. But other than that, playing really well here. Just use that first point to kind of warm up a little bit and fine-tune their throws in this wind. The Titans' experience here is helpful with this bit of gusty wind. And it looks like they are just going to play a bit of small ball, and then when the option's on, they'll take it. It's probably one of the furthest pulls, but it is from the other direction. So we've got Harry in the middle of the field, small one to Davis, then to Milo, back to Davis. Faked it deep to Santi, back to Davis, faked the small one to Santi. To Brilly, who's alone in the middle of the field. Nearly looks a bit zoney here.
Yeah,
Brian Froud was just free there.
Titans have been playing zone quite effectively. They haven't been able to score over the first 2 points, but they've managed to bring it back. So now they're into the bit of a rhythm with their zone, and it is working for them really, really well. A lot of overhead fakes coming out of Riptide's hands, and now they're knocking at the door, really trying to push something in, maybe looking for something jumpy there to Davis, and they weren't really aware of that one, the Titans. That was always a play which Sean Davis was capable of and would have made, and he did. There was just such a big gap there between the handler and the defence. As you see it again in replay here, we see it coming through. It'll go out to that sideline. There'll be a cut up the sideline. Now look at that hole. Look at that hole there. Sean sees that and just runs straight through it. And you can see there Brill's foot is right on the front of the line. So, you know, they had an acre to play in effectively, and it was an easy walk-in in the end.
So it's now 4-3. Riptide are up by 1. And we got Milo with the disc ready to pull. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Titans keep playing this zone. I think, like you said, it's working for them pretty well. Looks like they're forcing the nearest sideline. And the disc goes up.
That's looking...
And it's just out by probably,
country mile, just out, do you
just
reckon?
out. Thought it was going to drop a bit earlier, but just sailed out there. The wind took it a little bit.
Yeah, the one we saw a few points ago where Baddock's pointed to the line was a lot closer than that. And we've seen a few of those pulls actually that have floated from the far side to the near side, and I think they've got to do something about that maybe. Not giving them as many options to bring it onto the brick mark would be something that Riptide should be looking towards. Given this wind, as you said earlier, Chantel, that it's coming from far to near as Edgeworth is playing from the high side at the moment. Cuts back to Edgeworth, still centred, not much further than the brick mark. Haven't gained a lot. Up to Mazar, floats over his head, gets it back.
So Marty to quick one to Roberts, then to Baddix. Alfie is now on the low side with the disc. Quick one to Baddix up the line, and Baddix sends it to Dan Roberts, but great D by Matty G.
I have to say something here. I've seen Gordon play over a few seasons, and I still want him to catch his Ds. Like,
he could have caught that.
He could have. It was a very easy catchable disc. I'm just wondering whether that drop that he did earlier from Buckland, you know, that overhead hammer, whether that might have shaken his confidence, or whether he still isn't getting attuned to catching those easy Ds. Making a mark, making his presence on the game, saying, I've got this, and I've got the confidence to not only catch the D, but have the confidence to then handle it back to a proper handler, let's say.
So we've got Sam Tonkin with the disc and around to Davis. Titans trying to force them to the low side, but they managed to make it to the high side. We got Tonkin with the disc again. One to Nathan. Quick one back to Tonkin. On the high side there. Nearly looks still a bit zony from the Titans, and a quick little D by Marty. Marty quickly bolted deep, but it's not coming, and what happened there?
Felt like there was a hand on it, but it probably got a bit of his arm, I'm going to say. Mine had been out of his hand, actually, just the way it wobbled out. I don't think it had left his hand. It was a bit of a cutesy pass. Edgeworth was trying to get back to Baddix. And that is back in his hands. It's one way to get 2 touches at once. I don't know whether that's a double fantasy points. How does that work in fantasy?
I don't think like throws and touches don't count as any. So it's just assists, goals, Ds, drops, and throwaways. And Milo sends it.
Wow, that's now Alexander Jeroen. I had a feeling he was straddling that line.
And the players
can see that here. I'm not sure if his awareness is there. It slows down. Yeah, I don't think he had his outside foot. Caught and landed out. So
they're just working out where to take the disc in from. So we've got Alfie on the low side with the disc. Looks for the around to Baddix, but open undercut by Sid. Another open under to Greg. To another one to Roberts. Cramming it down there and just doesn't work.
Baddix
bit of a pressure D there.
Baddix gets the fantasy D there. So we're saying we get fantasy D points or not here at the moment?
Yes, we do. Okay. So it's 3 for a D, 2 for an assist, 1 for a goal, and then a throwaway and a drop are negatives.
Okay. I saw Schrader touch one earlier. I'm not too sure if that was a D or a drop would have been attributed to him. Was that Davis? It was. Was it? Or was that Gordon? I can't tell from here. My eyesight shot as well. Probably neither.
That is neither.
Neither, it is.
That's Charles.
Charles, there you go.
He's new to the APOC team this year. We've got a couple of newer players to the APOC team this year, which
Here
is very exciting.
See that one, it's out and caught it mid-air, I think, before his foot landed out. So technically caught it in, landed out. There's that fantasy D that Baddix will be happy about. And everyone who's picked him as well.
Sadly not on my team, but people who have him. We've gone full professional fantasy this season with a whole website that Alfie has spent a lot of time coding. And then there's also price increases for players depending on how they perform based on their original price. And then you can do trades each week.
And I hear we've got a professional team doing stats as well. Is that correct, or am I my sources leading me on.
The professional team is Oscar. We've tried to keep it with one person so it's pretty consistent in terms of what he's calling the points for especially the negatives.
So hashtag Turnbull bias.
Yeah, so Oscar decides. If it's a bit iffy, it's up to Oscar.
I hear if you buy him a drink, he might be more favourable to giving you those fantasy points. That's a great run by both players, but Edgeworth, arms outstretched, claims it in all glory.
Got a player coming to check.
There's a question
replay
of whether it's in or out at the moment, just by a couple of players. Coming to our replay screen, it's Jumbotron here. There it goes. We're in the shade and light and a little bit blurry, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, our replay.
We can't tell the technology these days.
Can't
if this
trust
was CSI, I'm sure they would have been able to redo all that pixelated image, but it just comes back there. Yeah, we're going to have to pay that, I think. Without any good evidence to the contradiction, I think we're not going to be able to steal Edgeworth's glory, are we?
Nah. I thought that was going to go out for a second. It looked like he was cutting for it to shape in, but good read by Alfie to notice that it wasn't coming back in and then to make sure to toe it in the sideline. Very nice by Edgeworth there. Normally Edgeworth's the one throwing in this game, so it was good to see him a bit downfield. Transitioning this season into more of a handler role for Mountain, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, very exciting.
So we've got Joel with the disc getting ready to pull.
Maybe we could rename the Titans to the Vikings. Is that a possibility? Is it too late in the season already at round 3?
There's only 6 weeks and we're already up to round 4, so might be a bit late. But Alfie did say he nearly planned his team around Joel because he's that influential. So change it to the Vikings for Joel. So the Titans are putting on a zone here, trying to make the Riptide keep it to the low side. Doing pretty well so far. Stuck on the sideline here. Santi got the disc.
Okay,
Alfie, he's standing quite behind on the mark there, really trying to make sure it does not come back around to that high side.
This is where Titans can really put some pressure on. And they've released that pressure as Brill now has it. They really need to force it back to the low side if they can. Hammer over the top, but it's caught easy in the end. That was Sadariga. How do you say his last name? I know you don't want to see him say Santa all the time.
I just say Santi. I cannot pronounce his last name.
Sadariga is what I'm going to go with. Here we go. They let them off. A little bit of pressure has been relaxed, and there's that easy overhead. They focused too much on the handler then, the Titans, and forgot about the fact they were so close to goal. An easy pop over the top was the score that they opted for. They were given it. Take what you're given. Rule number 1, I think, in Frisbee, take what's given, and that was given to them quite easily.
So we got Riptide on D here, with Sean Davis currently holding the Frisbee. We'll see how Sean Davis pulls compared to Tim Davis's pull a little earlier on.
So 6-4 at the moment to Riptide. I think Riptide will be looking to get another point or two to take them into half, and then they might be looking forward to a drink, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
What would you suggest they drink?
Greedy Bear.
Greedy Bear, sounds good to me. Now, they make modern meads, don't they? And a mead, correct me if I'm wrong, something to do with bees, so isn't that honey?
Yes.
Honey, nice. So very environmentally conscious to get a mead, as Baddox will probably have one himself if he gets half a chance. Back to the action here. Titans working it down the low side now. Man-on-man defense. Davis on Pillar Rogers, blocks him out. Baddox gets the bail out. Foot right on the line. Now we've got Pillar Rogers. He's surveying from his kingdom from a high. He will want Schrader. That's a pairing of old, and a bit of a grin there from Schrader. It was a great D. Brill goes deep. That's looked off. And that's in the air. That could be someone's. No, great take by Tonkin. He might put it long. They've got 2 players long. If they can get it up, they can. That's going to fade maybe to the near side. Schrader's there, wants it. That's Gordon gets it. It's got 2 options at the moment. Who's he going to take? Easy throw, Buckland.
All 3 of them are on my fantasy team, so I didn't mind who caught that one and who threw the assist there.
That was a really great grab by Gordon, and a nice effort here by Schrader. Look where he is here. He's right down here at the back. He doesn't get the catch, says thank you, but he ends up the only player running down the other end of the field. Great early jump by Gordon, blocking Schrader all the way out, takes it to the ground. Nice cut to the near side, has the open one in his mate, Buckland, and he takes an easy one.
There was just too many of them. It was a 2-on-1 there in the end zone, or nearly a 3-on-1.
It felt like a 4-on-1 in many. If you saw the wider view, 4-on-1 would be my take on that one. But definitely went from 2-on-1 to 3-on-1 to 4-on-1. And
we kept seeing Riptide run down, and no Titans players were in sight there.
So Schrader, the only one putting in the effort there.
Putting in the effort after not converting that one.
Yeah, defensive effort, obviously.
So we've got Riptide coming out on D with Davis with the disc.
Roller, that'll roll probably just out. And yes, it does. Gives them time to set up. And they have been playing match. They're quite happy with their match at the moment, and they're going to go to match again.
They've learnt from how this wind is behaving to do a roller there so it doesn't fly out towards us here in the camera. So we've got Baddox walking to the sideline. Riptide are going to want to keep Titans on the low side, but they quickly get it to the middle of the field. Throws backwards to Baddox, quick one to Marty in the middle of the field.
And Davis going long. Alexander there. Oh, lovely D. Tim just positioned himself out of that one.
So we've got Davis with the disc. Quick one to Sam on the high side. Sam looks to go long, doesn't. Short one to Milo up the line. Looks to centre it back to the field to Tonkin. Small one to Milo, and that one just hits the turf there, bit low.
I felt Davis could have got that. Is he getting old like I am? Like he just didn't have the same sort of verve and want for that one. I felt it was within his reach, like for a dive. Am I being too harsh on that?
Oh, I've seen him lay out. He could have got that. So Dan Roberts on the end of that and grabs that one. 2 defenders were trailing him there, but did not let the pressure get to him, and Clapp catches that one.
Nice length line and weight by Andy Baddox to put that one with a bit of outside in with the wind. Read it beautifully. Here we see here, don't know what happened. He lost it in the air and didn't commit to it. I think Alexander had the line on that anyway, so just maybe lost in the sun. I don't know. I really don't know what the story is here. Here's that one. Nice bit of edge on that. Nice weight, making it really easy. Grabs it, stretches out the feet. Just really good offensive, defensive catch there by Roberts, I felt.
Oh, he is one of the main receivers here in this Titans team. He's a bit of good at dumping the disc, but also as a receiver. He's very, very fast, but then also his vertical is insane. So very, very threatening in that deep space because, yeah, you can even chuck it up and he'll sky someone or throw it out in front and he'll lay out and get it. So very, very threatening deep receiver for the Titans.
Now that's going to roll back, but the wind will push that. It is what he wanted. It was an interesting choice of pulls, I must admit. But it did exactly what he wanted. Probably wanted to get a bit more out of that, a bit more further down the sideline.
Tried to copy Davis's pull a little bit, but decided to do a flick instead.
Edgeworth points to the mark. Alexander puts his foot on the line. Davis looking. Typical trademark overhead fake hammer. Back to Alexander. Through the middle there. Brill's got it. Bit of an overhead loft there as well. They're all wanting to put that one up. That's going to hold. Pillar Rogers should take hold of that and does. He wants to get a couple back. Baddocks to Pillar Rogers. That was put out a bit far ahead of him. Alexander asked him to bring it back. Now Rogers is going to work a little bit overtime to try and get every disc. Baddocks wants it back. Pillar Rogers points to Schrader. Nice link connection there for those two. Edgeworth cut back by Schrader. Edgeworth surveys everything in front of him. Baddocks makes a cut, but Pillar Rogers is there as a backup as well. They're working nicely. A lot of hands, a lot of throws at the moment. That one could have gone around the edge, but they're staying with the safe hands at the moment. Goes down the field, doesn't get it back. Now what's going to happen here? This is where things might break down a little. Let's see what happens here. Pillar Rogers demanding it again. Had to toe it in. As I called it, breakdown was just there, a little bit too tight for them all. But great pressure overall by Riptide, I think, forcing them down to this near sideline, the low side.
Yeah, they couldn't get it off there, and their open side just got smaller and smaller until the error got forced. Ran out of room there. So we got Milo with the disc, and then Davis couldn't just get that one. He was running forward and the disc was propelling behind him.
Yeah, the problem with that throw was that Davis was already too close and the throw came a little bit too late. Needed to wait it and throw it a little bit earlier so Davis could read where it was going to be. Just really, even with Sean's reaction time, that was a very hard one to get. Takes that one away, brings it up to the front. Just a couple of meters in there. Nice little high release flick there, Milo, as you say, with it at the moment. Wants to put it long. That's actually a really good put. Buckland can read that. Should get it every day of the week. Does. High double-handed catch. Looks back at Baddocks, shows him the disc. Baddocks didn't see that. Probably just as well. They're good friends, good mates when they're on the same team, but competition comes in when we're at Super League.
Beautiful put by Milo. Very exciting player playing for Mountain this year. And a beautiful read by Harry Buckland. And that takes us...
There's the show. Sorry, gotta love that little bit of showmanship, smile on Buckland's face.
That takes us to 8-5, which should be
half time at 8.
Should be half time.
Apparently.
Players, we don't have a scoreboard here.
8-5. As it gets cold, and they'll come in for their Greedy Bear Modern Mead. It's 4% alcohol. You can get it online. There isn't much going around at the moment. It's that popular. It is brewed sustainably from 100% Aussie honey. And we've just had a pack put down in front of us. Maybe we might get a bit of a sip, a bit of a taste, and we'll be able to relate to its real goodness. It's sparkling as well. Nothing goes down better than a nice sparkling mead on a hot day. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. We'll be back after this break. To bring to Ulti TV for all your Frisbee needs. Brought to pretty much 99% free, I think, from what I can see. And, you know, they've got such a back catalogue of Frisbee games stretching way back over decades that you can go look at, and some classic games as well from a lot of classic tournaments around the world. So go to Ulti TV on YouTube. Please support us as well, so we can keep bringing you this great quality live coverage.
We're very lucky this evening. We've actually got 2 games live because we've got the double header. So we've also got the Flyers versus the Force currently playing, which is also live. And then we'll have another 2 games after this. So very, very fortunate that both games, all 4 games are streamed this evening.
So maybe the best way to watch Ulti TV Super League tonight is to actually have 2 monitors in front of you, 2 sets of headphones, have one in your right ear, one in your left ear. Make sure it's matching the coverage you see on your right TV screen and your left TV screen. That picked up some dirt. Was it in though? I don't think we have the zoom lens on our camera at the moment.
And Davis put his hand up for the brick there, but there might be a bit of discussion. We've been told to check, but it's a bit far.
Yeah, I wasn't on the line. I think someone who was actually on the line might have been able to see that. I don't think we're going to be able to pick that up. So it's up to the players to make the call. He's indicating it's a brick. There's not a lot of Titan activity to suggest otherwise. Schrader came down, was umming and erring, it might have been out, but I think Davis put his hand up, as you said, early to indicate that he thought it was out. So we'll bring up to the brick mark. Srinivasan's already there. He's pointing to where he wants him to put his foot down. And straight up and into the dirt. Won't be happy with that throwaway at all, as Titans get the chance to score the first point of the second half of round 3 of Adelaide Super League.
So we got Baddix with the disc, centres to Joel, quickly around to the high side to Sid, had to take that one high. Alfie free in the middle of the field there, but passes it back to Joel. Back to Alfie, gaining negative meters here, but taking the first option and the safest. Back to Joel. Titans want to kind of keep it on that high side there, but force the Riptide are forcing them to go the low side. Greg has to take that one high, but couldn't. So goes to the ground. Davis picks up, looks to go long to Buckland, but not on. Quick little one to Matty G. Harry a free open under, but has to read that one. Tries to get it one-handed and then gets it on the second grab. Might be a discussion there for was it out.
Contentious grab, and whether the toe was on the line. Again, I'm trying to pinch with 2 fingers to zoom in, but it doesn't work on this screen. So I can't tell from here. It was either Edgeworth or Pillar Rogers downfield, I think, that we're trying to call it might be out, but it's coming back. Edgeworth is indicating it's okay, we'll call it in. So Buckland will get the disc. It doesn't want to do too much of an outside in, and the wind will grab that. And maybe I think there was a false start on that, bringing the disc in. That's all I can sense.
We hear a home force by Tim Davis. So they're trying to force them to the low side. Beautiful throw to Gordon. Gordon still with the disc. Looking for a dump, but there's a foul called.
There's contact there while he had the disc in his hand, so it should reset the stall count.
The foul was accepted, and Baddock's going to tap the disc back in. Gordon with the disc, small backhand to Tonkin, to Santi, to Brilly. They're on the low side here, running out of room on the sideline, but continues to go down to Tonkin. To Davis, small one to Tonkin at the front of the end zone there, cramming it down.
Yeah.
That sideline there.
And as I always say, the better Davis wins on the day. And if we get to see this on replay, just Sean Davis is a machine. He's amazing any day of the week, like you say. And we'll get the disc, and he'll just be off balance, but he still maintains the composure as he sort of like does a Leaning Tower of Pisa impersonation, and just casually throws the disc back for the score.
He's very good at visualising space there. And even though it was like a little bit of space, he can still visualise it really well and see his teammate coming in for that very, very small gap there. Say it's all the indoor he plays.
Yeah.
So that is 9-5. Riptide up by 4.
So the game is getting away from the Titans a little bit here. It's not out of reach by any stretch of the imagination. One more to make it 6-9, another to make it 7, and all of a sudden there's just a 2-point difference. And at the moment, that 4 points, they'll really want to be reeling that back within the next 3. I dare say that will be their game plan, get 2 of the next 3 at the very least. So then they don't get in their heads. So the last thing you want to be is in your head when you're down a little bit. Makes you a bit unsure of yourself. You play a little bit below yourself. Edgeworth here. Again, could be what I'm talking about. Edgeworth is usually really strong with his one-handed grabs. The choice of grab there, I would question mainly because of the rotation of the disc. The way his hand was sort of like rotated around in order to catch it as well, really needed to be more solid with, I think, his try maybe turn himself around, catch it and take it to ground. That sort of is what I would feel would be a better sort of, both are 50-50, I've got to give it there. But I think there was, as we see that play, that was a clean one. I thought there was going to be a call on that as Titans get that back. Did you see what happened there?
Not really. There was a lot of players there and then disc on the ground. So Baddox quickly picks it up. Should call some type of end zone play here. Alfie with the ISO. and makes up for the misread of the other one and gets a goal.
Is that still down a fantasy point for him, or?
So the drop will be 1 because he touched it, but then the goal will be 1. So the point kind of
comes up neutral.
He is on my fantasy team, so I'm keeping track.
Still couldn't quite see what happened there, but there's that spin turn.
Look at that spin.
Nice.
Happy with that one.
Elation throws it in the air. That's what a happy Alfie looks like.
Playing a bit more downfield than he normally does the past couple of games for the Titans, and I don't mind it. It's doing pretty well. It's 2 goals.
So there's that one that I was talking about. Baddox comes over to have a look at the score just to check, because we don't have a score out for the players. They have to come over to the Jumbotron we've got inside the tent here, and realises it's 6-9. So yeah, 3 points down now. As I said, their game plan should be get 2 out of the next 3, and if they get the first 2, then they're in a really good position to get that third one. All of a sudden, they're back in the game.
Yeah, Ultimate's all about sometimes momentum, and getting 2 or 3 in a row, the momentum would be with the Titans. So hopefully after a couple of good points, yeah, they can bring that momentum and even up the game. So we've got Titans with the D, Tim Davis about to get ready to pull.
That one is going to come out by about 20, 30, 40, 50 metres, but it does hit the side of the clubhouse that is here. That should make the Frisbee an interesting shape.
Yeah, Davis is going to check that one to see if it's warped a little bit, but he seems to think it's kind of okay. Checking the spin of the disc to himself. So
a little bit of banter there between Schrader and Davis to intimate that it was going to be brought back in the sideline.
So Titan have put on a match. Davis, quick one to Milo. Nothing really happening. Titans forcing the low side. Open under by Froud.
Great grab there by Froud.
It was big mark by Joel. Santi with the disc and sends it long. We have it's a 2-on-2, but Dan Roberts is there. Oh, and Tim Davis comes down with it.
Tim Davis didn't even have to leave the ground. The others all did his work for him, putting themselves off balance, and comes up with a big smile there for that D, as the Titans are now swinging it to the far side. Mazar wants it long. Pillar Rogers wants to put it for him. Sadariaga is there as well. Big Timber gets his hand in the way. Was that picked up? It was. He's claiming it.
Great second attempt by Christoph there. Had to lay out to get that one. Kind of went over Marty, and then Christoph put the jets on to lay out there. So we're going to see this D here.
1, 2, 3, and there's Tim Davis on tippy toes. Okay, he had to put a little bit of effort in. There's Pillar Rogers. Now that stayed high for, here we can see Sadariaga coming in. Mazar positions, tries to body out, but look at those long arms. And then Hager with the big one there comes up. He's happy as well.
So that's 2 in a row now for the Titans to make it 9-7. The momentum, I would say, is definitely starting to be with them. And it'll be interesting to see if they can ride this momentum to close the gap even further.
A big last swing in momentum going from the Riptide to the Titans.
That should hype them up. Christoph's grab there, so hopefully they use that. Great D by Tim Davis, so let the youngsters, especially Matty G and Dan Roberts, jump early. And then he used his experience and just waited for the disc to kind of only had to go up on his tippy toes.
Yeah, for now we'll call it experience. I have seen 4-leaf clovers growing nearby, but I won't say that L word, which it could have been more than anything.
Got to give him some credit there. We'll say, yeah, experience.
Just some, not too much.
Normally, Matty G or Dan Roberts would have read that and got that one, but...
Look, I would have loved to have seen another high Roberts grab.
Oh, he normally produces them pretty regularly, but that one, yeah, no, just mistimed that jump there. So we've got Davis going to the brick mark, and it looks like the Titans have set a zone, which they're going to force to the low side.
This is a pretty solid old man sort of tactic, is to put a zone so you don't have to run as much, just letting you in some old man knowledge there.
It's the only way their team will not get outran.
Well, don't forget, they do have another game afterwards.
Froud takes that one high. Quick one to Brill. They've still got the zone to Santi on the low side. The over.
Nice back foot drag.
Fakes the hammer.
Robertson Davis in the backfield had a little bit of a collision there. Both bounced off each other, and Davis comes away with a bit of a smile. Brill with a lot of time there to read that. Oh, coming back, and Lopez drops it. 3 touches, though. Normally in AFL, that would be a mark. I would have given it to him. Unfortunately, Frisbee not the same, not as generous. We've got a couple of players going deep. Baddox goes to deep, cuts back in. He'll want it in, but that was Edgeworth.
Oh,
acrobatic dive over Gordon, and very happy. So the score, what was it? 5-9?
5-9, and now it's 8-9. So got the last 3 in a row. Momentum definitely with the Titans here. And what a beautiful put to Roberts. Again, out to the advantage of him. Even Matty G with his long limbs could not D that one.
Look at that dive. Look at that dive. I love that dive. Acrobatics, aerials, he's got it all. What do they put in his Milo in the morning? That's what I want to know.
I want to know. And can I have some, please? I want to be able to run that fast and have that much energy. We'll see if it lasts, though, for the second game.
Yeah, so stay tuned, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people from near and far, and if you're watching us from another planet also, hopefully our reception will get you crystal clear. That's what we're hoping for. We do have 2 more games tonight. As I said earlier, put them on 2 different screens so you can watch both. When one is having a between point like right now, I can see the other field they're playing, so you can actually continually watch Frisbee. You don't have to have this downtime by watching this screen. You can watch the other screen at the same time. And I'm sure when they score their point, we'll get going on our point here.
That looks like it's sitting, and it is going to land a few meters out with Davis signalling the brick. Wonder what defense the Titans are going to put out here. If it's going to be zone or match, looking potentially zoney or a loose match. Davis with the disc over to Milo in the middle of the field. Quick leading pass to Jeroen, and then the inside out backhand to Buckland. Very lucky there, shows Marty the disc.
I have an interesting take on this. I'd actually like to see Alexander's back foot. He grabs it high. He opens up that middle lane. Now let's have a look at this. Watch the big steps he takes. 1, 2. He does throw it before that back foot drag. That's okay. I'm always hot on that one. That was Mazar that went up for the D, but Buckland manages to get it back. Shows him the disc again. A lot of spirit and comradeship. These players play with each other and against each other a lot of time. Frisbee, that's what I love about Frisbee, the comradeship. Like, so many other sports, it seems like you can get angry. towards the opposition team, but I've rarely, if ever, seen that with Ultimate Frisbee.
It is a... No, there's no umpires here, so it is a self-officiated sport, but especially here at Super League, we don't necessarily have spirit scores at the end, but they're all teammates and they all train together twice a week, so it's all very friendly banter going on. And they make each other better, like this helps their season and builds connections, so very, very exciting stuff.
Lopez going to give a pull a try. It's going up. It's going to maybe come back closer to us than we expect. It'll bounce. It stays in. Edgeworth wide stance there. Low disc though to Roberts. Schrader wants it, but Alexander up to that task in the deep. Baddox pulls his finger off the trigger, and that is one straight into the ground by Edgeworth. Very unusual to see that. Something happened there. Maybe he had already in his mind thrown the disc. Lopez taking up some handler duties. It's good to see from him. Nice around.
So we've got Froud with the disc. Centers to Nathan Sim. And hand block by Roberts. Roberts bolting deep. Davis sends it. And looks like just shy of the end zone.
Call something. Yeah, nice. That should be easy. Does he go for the 1-2? Edgeworth, big wide stride there. That's good to see, but Srinivasan gets it in the end. Number 1 on his back. Plays like it as well. Tosses the disc just casually in front of him. Says, yep, that's another one I can add to my account. He's got a few scores tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's playing really well. Sid's very safe hands. Very reliable player, so good to see him.
Is that D? Robert's quick hands.
No mark on Edgeworth there for a fair bit, so kind of has free reign to throw where he wants until Gordon puts the mark on.
That goal there was really Alfie's when he was in that handler position, and what I mean by that, Edgeworth, is that he was looking backwards, and so all the defensive players were looking backwards with him. They weren't looking at the goal line. And Srinivasan just walked into that because all the blue Riptide players were looking back, expecting it not to come forward. They'd lost the defensive memo, which is to stay marking their player. They weren't expecting that quick turnaround, the look, the quick throw. That's what made that score right there.
Good patience by the Titans there to not force it in, just kind of wait for that option to be there. And we got Edgeworth with the pull. Santi catches it, quickly centers to Davis. Davis fakes the huck, tries to send it to the open side, but quick one to Milo. Over to Tonkin to the high side. Looks like a zone here by the Titans. So we've got Milo on the far sideline. Back to Santi. Looks off the swing to Davis. Centers to Milo. Quick little one to Gordon. Back to Milo.
Ooh, bit of a travel there. Yeah, that was caught by everyone, I thought. I think there might have been even an eagle like a few miles up that saw that travel happening.
So Milo's going to tap it back in. Goes behind to Davis. Davis trying to signal his players direct traffic to Tonkin. Centers to Gordon. Not much happening. Titans put on a zone. Losing side here on this low side. Davis directing traffic. So we've got Milo with the disc. Tonkin attacks the front cone. Matty G then jumps it in. And that is 11-9 to Riptide.
So here we see it again. So quick give go, looked off there. Lopez with it in hand, looks off another one running in. Gordon coming up. catches it and jumps in. Yep, that's safe. And we'll call that in 10 out of 10 times.
So we've got Buckland with the disc. Nah, gives it to Davis to pull.
So it's okay for Titans to give one up. They did get 3, 4, 4. They've given up 2 to that 4. They still need another 4 to 2 to really get themselves back into the match. That is to say, they need to score 4 out of the next 6 points to make it worthwhile. Then we'll be at 13s if that happens. Games to 15, I believe.
Games to 15, correct. Yeah, 80 minutes, game to 15. I think the more wind, the better for the Titans. Their zone's working pretty well, and then their handle experience, the wind's not phasing them. And that one is...
There was a naughty word that came out of Sean Davis's mouth then.
That one's headed to the club room.
I was going to say, where that disc landed is probably more an appropriate word for how it was thrown than the one that Mr. Davis and Senor Davis used.
So we've got Alfie walking it to the brick mark. Looks like they've set nearly a horror here, the Titans. With Joel, Marty and Alfie back as the handlers. And then we've got the cut under, cut deep from the horror. Quick one to Tim Davis. Sends it to Sid. Great grab by Sid.
That's how you catch it, Edgeworth.
Yeah,
You were thinking it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how Edgeworth should have caught his. Very similar behaving disc there. Maybe not as fast, but other than that, very similar edge and shape to that. Yeah, nearly the same location
Pretty
too.
much identical, but takes it a lot more cleaner.
And shows everyone.
Exactly.
So that is 11-10, and the game is very much so on. So we got Joel with the disc, going to get ready to pull. I reckon they might come down in a zone. They normally have been doing a zone this direction when they've been on defense. Especially if they can get that pull to land on the low side. It's been working really well to keep them there and making Riptide cram it up the sideline and hoping that they just make a error.
Yeah. While we're waiting for Pillar Rogers to make the pull here, we'd like to thank everyone on this field from Ulti TV. Thank you very much for Katie being on camera one. Rex doing all the behind the scenes work as well to make magic happen. So thank you both, Katie and Rex. Well travelled. They've been over at New Zealand a couple of times already in the recent months and been having a wow of a time. Also, a lot of coverage they've been doing from the eastern states here in Australia as well. So
recently did Gold Cup. I was there myself last weekend in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Bit warm, so thanks to Ulti TV for coming out for that. Very, very exciting. The men's went to Universe, but that should all be on a playlist on Ulti TV if you want to watch any of that.
I'm going to go one step further and say not only should, will be.
So that one lands out, and we've got Davis, of course, walking to pick up the disc.
That's our first high side out, isn't it, from a pull?
Yeah. Normally it's been coming towards us near the club's house.
I do say high side. The wind has died down a lot. It's almost negligible, but it still have a minor impact, I think, especially if it's thrown into the wind. And, of course, that was the hope for that pull, that it would just stay up and stay in.
Oh, great D by Christoph there. Nearly a run, basically a run through D there. So we've got Joel picking up the disc. Titans really need to get this one. Quick one to Roberts. They are on the low side. But like Phil said, the wind is dying off.
Oh, and he trips over his own feet. That's all that was. It was a clean trip over his own feet by Alfie Edgeworth. He smiles a little bit.
And
No.
Davis sends it. Luckily comes back in, so the Titans do have to go and take it from the end zone. Did come back in, so they'll take it to the front of the end zone.
I was looking at Alfie's feet, Sean Davis's feet, sorry, when he threw that, as there was a bit of discussion as to what was happening there and if it came back in or not. But now we're back to players. Andy Baddocks trying to direct traffic in the number 10. Joel Pillar-Rogers throwing it back to Baddocks, and they're now at the beginning of their defensive end zone as Hager comes in. That's a nice diving effort from Buckland. Roberts takes a clean mark there. Baddocks every second grab, and Pillar-Rogers as well. That's a nice upfield one. Now we've got, was it Roberts going deep? Still wants it deep. Schrader, we've got Roberts versus Buckland. What's going to happen here?
I love this matchup. Oh!
He had to jump out. He didn't quite have
could not
the
land
footwork.
in.
You see that's probably an inch in it. And Buckland in the end actually jumped too early, so Roberts probably didn't actually need to go for it. Could have stayed on his feet and caught a goal, which would have made it 11-all. Is that going to be a decisive factor in the result of this game? I don't know at this point in time. All I do know is the score is 10-11. Riptide have the disc in hand and they have a chance to pull away by 2.
We've got Gordon with the disc to Brilly, centers to Harry. Everyone's kind of behind the disc. Everyone's now caught up and could not complete that to Matty G there. So Joel quickly picks it up to Alfie. Players still running down, realizing there was a turn. Fakes off the flick and the high one to Marty. To Joel in the center of the field. Joel pointing at his teammates to run to a certain place. Back to Joel, to Christoph, to Edgeworth. Looks to send it long. They swing it back to the high side with Marty. Got the disc.
Pillar-Rogers wants it in the deep. There's a timeout called by Edgeworth. And I noticed Pillar-Rogers wanted people to go deep. I think in particular he wanted Roberts to go deep. And he went into that deep position himself to make a cut back, I think. I could see the frustration on their faces. They're being pushed back. They're not making any ground here. And they're being pushed. But there's that unfortunate trip over his ankles there. And a roll over there. There's the early jump by Harry. Roberts didn't need to go up for that one in the end. Now, this is actually, I was watching at the left side of the screen there. It was Lopez versus Baddocks. And I was watching that, and I found that absolutely fascinating to watch that match up there because Lopez was running rings around Andy Baddocks. Andy Baddocks is a good player. He's a top-level player, and he really had to work hard to stay with Lopez there. Lopez did get away from Baddocks in the end, but what was happening with the handlers had already happened, and he didn't get an opportunity to get that disc in the end zone, which is what he was aiming for. So Titans tiring a little bit. Bit of frustration creeping into the Titans gameplay, as I said earlier. They'll be talking about opening things up, I dare say, and getting that deep flow cut from a handler throw. It can't be coming after, a count of 3 or 4, because that's when the handlers are looking for a dump. They're about ready to look for a dump on that 3-4 stall count. Then that cut needs to be coming when that throw maybe goes from Edgeworth to Pillar-Rogers. And as soon as that's released, if Roberts goes deep, then Pillar-Rogers will see that developing, will throw it long, will give Roberts all the time in the world, use his skill, use the springs which he's got in his legs, That's what Titans want. That's, I think, what was frustrating Pillar-Rogers during that play. So Red will set up, and this is very interesting the way they're setting up, and I'll be interested to see the way Riptide set up on this. We've got Maehr at the front. And who's going to set up on him? Now, I like the diagonal they've got from that. So we've got the defensive 13 blue before Maehr, and behind Roberts we've got Buckland. They can work this. They can really work this if they want. If they play it right, they can work this, get maybe a 2-pass to a deep score. There goes Maehr. And Maehr's still free. Schrader gets it up to Maehr. And got a few. Hager's deep in the opposite side of the field, on the weak side. Strong side. Maehr's knocking at the door. What's going to happen now? They're all on the weak side. That's over the top. Easy. That took a lot more work than I thought it would. My heart was in my mouth, and I'm sort of thinking, what is going to go on there? A lot of give-go 1-2s, too much in my opinion, but it did work out for them. So Titans now even the score 11-all. What did you think of that play? You can see it here.
That was very, very cheeky by Marty there, over the top to Pillar Rogers. Is that Tonkin there? Just was not expecting that to just pop straight over his head into the breadbasket of Pillar Rogers there to even us up here, 11-all, with only 2 minutes to go. So might be game to 13, depending on the time, unless this is really, really quick point. But very much so either team's game here.
Yeah.
11-11.
Hopefully all the players know the score. So we've got Tim Davis with the disc, getting ready to pull. Wonder if the Titans are going to continue with their zone or a little bit poachy match, or if they're going to go tighter match.
One thing I found interesting in this match, that there hasn't been a scoring end that I could identify. You know, even with that wind, and it's just picked up a little bit. Again, coming near to far, bit right to left. There still hasn't been a scoring end as such. That one goes up. That's going to float a bit. It's going to fade a bit to the near side.
That was a beautiful pull. So we got Davis with the disc, small one to Milo. Does look like the zone here, and we have a turn.
I think a hand got to that. Did you see whose?
Oscar will have to decide if that was a throwaway or a D, and if it was a D, whose D was it? So we've got Edgeworth picking up the disc on the low side, looking for someone to cut, to strike to that front corner of the end zone. Not happening. So goes to swing, but a little too far there for Sid. Davis quickly picks up the disc, centers to Tonkin. Quick one to Milo, back to Tonkin. Froud going deep. Back to Tonkin, no mark to be seen.
Old man legs at work. That's all I've got to say.
Quick goal. Very, very quick from that turn there. Titans just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, old man legs defensively is what I was meaning there. Blue really can put on that turn of speed, and really they need to be using that more, I think, against a team like this. Maybe a bit lackadaisical, maybe knowing they've got another match that they're trying to conserve a whole lot of energy. I'm not too sure what it is. But that really showed the difference between the speed, the energy, the age of the two teams. Doesn't show up in terms of the skill though, but you use what is to your advantage.
And speed is definitely on Riptide's side. Not saying that they don't have skill or good throwers. Like, they got Sam Tonkin and Sean Davis, and then Milo, who are very, very good handlers and showing that this game. And then they've also got Brilly as well, who steps back into that position to help out. So they do have the throws there, but Titans definitely top on experience. But yeah, if Riptide use their speed, they've definitely probably got this one on the Titans. So it should be time cap So Marty caught the disc, centres to Pillar Rogers, quick one to Roberts. Baddock streaming open, and Baddock sends it.
Oh, he pulls that one.
Little short.
That's a tit for tat return. Baddock doesn't want an inch of picking up that disc. He's still in his head.
So Davis got the D there and then couldn't connect with his teammate. So Pillar Rogers with the disc. Baddock striking up the line. Beautifully put for Baddock to just put onto that one. And we have Tim Davis at the end of that one with Nathan Sim behind him.
That's the throw he wanted before, with a bit more zip on it than that one, but that's the throw he wanted before. And unfortunately, something went wrong with the gun there, as I think we'll see that happen there, and we'll see the return. Thank you very much, Sean Davis. So, a couple of hiccups there on both sides. Now he puts the appropriate amount of spin on it. Tim Davis coming off absolutely exhausted.
We can see the other game over there, just having a view of that. I believe it's 80-minute game, so it should be game to 13, because time cap would have went. It should have gone. 3. Yeah.
3 minutes ago.
Time cap! Last point! This is Universe! Universe! Just go there. Universe point!
Now the players have cottoned on. I just let you hear some of that little echoing in the background rather than commentate over that, so you could hear all the kerfuffle. They've realised it's Universe point, so maybe now they're going to put some effort in, I think.
It's a bit hard. Normally I or a couple of the players who aren't playing do the timekeeping, but because all the other players are playing, a bit hard for that one, but they've worked it out and realised that it is Universe point.
Oh, are they going to be stuck a little bit back? That one's low to the ground, almost a worm burner. So Titans, now they're going to put on a hard zone. You can see a little bit more pep in their feet, more spring in their step. Wanting to go through that. And they're doing it well. They moved it up to the halfway mark, which is where we are at the moment.
Trying to move it quick, but Titans are doing well with this zone here. So we've got Brilly with the disc, fakes the hammer. Quick one to Milo, does not wait to Buckland on the high side there. Back to Brilly in the middle of the field. Back to Buckland, to Brill. Looking for someone to attack the front corner there. Small one to Gordon, who looks like he's just in, and that will be game.
That's all she wrote. Gordon with the match-winning score on Universe point. So 13-12 is the final score. As we wrap up this game, I just want to remind everyone we do have 2 more games coming up as we watch this final replay here. Knocking on the door, you can see that in front of the end zone.
Where's his defender?
Yeah.
There's a 2-on-1 there at the front of the end zone, and I don't think Christoph realised that they were literally on the doorstep there, and that one just slipped past.
A bit more awareness needed and being in front of the player. However, that is the score. So we thank you very much for your patronage. As always, brought to you also by Greedy Bear, their modern meat. My name is Phil Shields.
And my name is Chantal Badenhop, and thank you for tuning in this evening.
This right here is the world's oldest alcohol, but I'm making it taste good.
Mead is alcohol made from honey. Vikings, pharaohs, even Chinese emperors were doing shoeys with it. But somewhere along the line, mead got boring, too sweet, and more painful than getting hit with a "who's this?" after a risky late night text.
So I fixed it. I brewed Greedy Bear for our hottest Aussie climate. Semi-sweet and crispier than a perfectly timed high five.
Son of a bitch.
They're served ice cold while you're grinding XP pretending Monday doesn't exist. You know what cooks my noodle? Most of the RTDs out there packed full of fake sugars you can't even pronounce. The big overseas companies don't think you can handle a real Aussie drink. Not me. I respect you. And because it's made with Aussie honey, it means it's naturally gluten-free. And delicious. But what about traditional mead? Well, it's stupidly strong, which is good if you want to forget your name mid-plot and be the guy that rolls to seduce the dragon.
At a seductive 4% alcohol, Greedy Bear's built for the long game. That means you can enjoy yourself without being cancelled in the group chat.
And the best part, you don't have to go on a side quest to find it. Normally, you'd only get mead at a medieval fair or some weird guy at a market stall. But now, in just a few clicks, you can get these juicy bastards delivered to your front door. Just in time for your Lord of the Rings marathon with your mum.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
So you're still not convinced Greedy Bear slaps harder than a magpie during mating season? Even Fortress, Australia's biggest nerd tavern, sells more than 1,000 litres of Greedy Bear every single week. So if you're sick of being average, don't want to suck on NPC juice anymore, what are you doing? Click the link below and buy my meat now, you big useful weirdo!
Alti.tv